My name is Emina Kocic, and I live in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I'm an independent Salesforce consultant and developer. I also run my own company called Virago, and I provide Salesforce services.
What were you doing professionally before getting into the independent side of Salesforce consulting? What did your career look like?
Well, I worked as a full-time Salesforce developer, and here in Bosnia. I worked on custom development, integrations, automation, and that experience actually helped me to build strong technical skills and gave me the confidence to eventually start working on my own.
Amazing. And I'll sort of ask a side question to that. What has the Salesforce market been like from your experience in Bosnia? So you were able to land a job in your home country. What was that experience like? Was there a lot of opportunity, or is this something you?
In my town, we only have one Salesforce company,
Okay.
which actually works with Salesforce. And then in the whole Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe up to five companies that works with Salesforce.
With that in mind, where are your clients? If there's only, one company in your town with Salesforce, where are the clients that you're working with? And if you don't mind sharing, like how many clients have you worked with?
Yes, sure. So my clients are mostly in North America, in the US. Some of them were in UK. Yeah, and I work fully remote from living in Bosnia. Yeah, so mostly in US.
With that in mind, thing that kind of stands in your way from your perspective when it comes to getting clients, let's say specifically in the United States, because that's what most people who come to me, they're like, I live in, pick your country, and I want to get clients in the United States. And they oftentimes don't believe that's actually possible. So have you run into any major obstacles, in working with companies in the US?
Actually, for me, it was pretty positive experience. Yeah, it is a bit harder, maybe in terms of connections and everything, but yeah, maybe time zone difference
Hmm.
is sometimes a bit of an obstacle. But I adjust my schedule, so I have several hours of overlap with the US business hours. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
getting paid in Bosnia also was not a problem. It was, I mean, as long as the expectations and contracts are clear, everything is smoothly there. So,
From your experience, the companies aren't concerned about you being in a different country or anything like that.
no, no, I don't think so. I
Yeah,
mean, in my experience, clients care much more about results, communication, and yeah, things like that.
I would completely agree. All right, so I'll ask one more question specific to sort of living in a different country than where you're freelance working. Do you find that you're able to demand higher pay rates from the US, or do you feel like when they're working with you, they're trying to get you for cheaper, or how has that balance been?
I'm not sure about
Okay.
the exact rates in the US, but it's
Mhm.
definitely higher than in Bosnia. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
I think
it's been great for me.
Okay, okay. So that really gives you some leverage being able to basically earn US dollars and then take that
Yes.
deposit. Okay, that's awesome. I wanted to ask you what interested you, and this may be a similar answer to what we've already talked about, but what interested in you in moving from, like you said, like you were fortunate, you got that role in Bosnia to work on and develop your Salesforce development skills. What made you say, you know what, I think I'm going to move from the full-time position to doing my own thing and being an independent consultant?
Mainly because I wanted more control over my time and my income. I also wanted to travel more and to build something of my own. So, yeah.
The autonomy, I think that's a big one. The freedom of location, the freedom of time, you have a
Mhm.
lot more freedom there. When you left your full-time role, I get this question a lot also, because I think some people think that they just have to quit their job and then hope that freelancing works out. What was that transition like for you? Did you, quit and then just hope things worked out? Or did you already have a client or someone you were talking to where you felt pretty confident that you were going to get your first client? How did that transition work for you?
Yes, so I already had something in my mind. I
Hmm.
already had a contract, not like fully, contract done and everything, but I talked
Hmm.
to them and I already had my first interview. So that's when I started thinking, okay, this is much better opportunity since I will have the opportunity to work from any place in the world. So.
And so, how many clients do you currently have, or and maybe it ebbs and flows, but I guess how many clients do you typically want to have, or do you currently have, kind of thing?
So currently, I have three clients, all of them in North America.
Okay.
Usually two up to three clients, but I want more since I want to grow my company and I
Okay.
want to have more clients for my team and yeah, to have a bigger company.
And how many hours, like a day in the life or a week in the life, like how many hours a week are you typically working?
Or maybe around 30 hours a week, which
Okay.
is less than when I worked full time. It's even more money for less hours than
Okay.
at full-time job.
That's amazing. So you've got the full-time job. You had the full-time job and you were working what, 40 hours a week? Was that pretty normal?
Sometimes 50, sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah. So 40 plus hours a week, and we won't get into exact numbers, but suffice to say, you were working over 40 hours a week. Now you're working closer to 30 hours a week, but you're making even more money than you were making in the 40 plus hour a week job. So that's got to be a pretty big lifestyle transition for you.
Yeah, exactly. Currently, more like spending my time to grow company, to
Hmm.
actually, I have some ideas, to build and to work
Yeah.
on. But sometimes I work on myself, I travel and spend more time with my family and friends and my
Yeah.
girlfriend. So it has been a big impact on me. Working with Thales Tucker actually helped me to connect with two great companies. And yeah, which had a big impact on my freelance career.
Yeah.
And also it helped me to shift my mind from, being a developer to thinking more like a business owner.
Mm.
And yeah, that mindset change, it was a big change for me, difference for me.
That's great. That's great to hear. So, how do you get to that point where you have clients in the US? Because I know you mentioned one of the obstacles was probably establishing that network in the United
Mhm.
States, and that's how you like meet the companies and find out they have needs. How do you actually go about getting clients? Like, maybe what's your going forward plan to get more clients so people can kind of understand what it looks like to live in a different country and then actually get close deals and contracts with companies in the US.
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn is the great source. It's
Yeah.
the best source, and communication, like all the time, communication with, everybody that is interesting to you and has something similar with you and the
Yeah.
same stuff.
I would agree it's that human connection point. It's
Yes.
more of just whether it's posting or commenting or DMing someone and just sharing, kind of what you're up to and what you're looking for. And yeah, I like that. What would you say to other people who are either interested in freelancing and they've thought about it, or maybe they've even tried it and they go like, I tried to do it, it didn't work out, I couldn't find clients. Like, what would you say to those individuals who, especially, you know, are maybe living outside of the US and, hoping to be able to do this, but they're just not sure if it's possible?
Yeah. So I would say you don't have to feel like 100% ready before you start and forget about fear. That's the first thing that I would say. Start small and take action.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for joining me and sharing these insights. I know so many people are going to get value from this. So thank you for spending some time with me. And since you are growing your business, would you mind sharing a little bit about the types of clients that maybe you're looking for and who might want to reach out to you if they are interested in working with you?
So my company name is Virago. Maybe we can
I'll,
share a
I'll put
link
it in
or
the description
something.
for sure. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want custom development solutions, if you don't know where you are with your with your instance, or you just want to check your health of your system, yeah, I would say I would do everything for you to make it work.
Yeah, amazing. So I'll put a link to your LinkedIn and your company in the description. And I'll just personally say again, every client that I've ever talked to that you work with has incredible feedback. I know you're just an all-star when it comes to like LWC, custom development,
Yeah.
experience cloud, integrations. It seems like you can do anything when it comes to custom development. So it's an incredible skill to have. And obviously, I think clients would be very fortunate to work with you. So thanks for coming on and sharing with the community. And I hope this gives you an opportunity to grow your business the direction you want to go as well.
Thank you a lot, Bradley. And yeah, you're welcome always. So